Welcome to Prerona Television Canada on behalf of Global Academy of Holistic Leadership and Coaching. It is our honor and privilege to present Leadership Speaker Series, and today is our 63rd episode. And today's our topic is Leadership, Dignity, and Respect. We'll be discussing about culture and respect, culture of respect, promoting internal harmony and building valued ecosystem. Today, as usual, our speaker and trainer, Advocate Jiaur Rahman, is with us. He is the CEO of IITM and adjunct faculty of Independent University. I now welcome Advocate Jiaur Rahman to continue his session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good evening and good morning in Dhaka and good evening in Canada and the rest of the world. I hope my screen is viewed by all of you. I'm just putting it on full screen. Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, fantastic. So this is our 63rd session and we have been doing it for quite some time. Today's topic is leadership, dignity, and respect. We had been talking about different aspects of leadership all throughout the last period. And today we are focusing more on internal dynamics of who we are as a person, as a human being, and why this internal dynamics is important in order for you to lead in society. So the words which we are going to be focusing heavily on is your self-respect, your personal dignity, a perspective that everyone should be focused on in order to reach out to become a better human being. As you evolve as a better human being, your personal standing in society grows. You become more valued as a citizen. You become more valued as a leader. Even if you are not in a leadership position per se, from a professional standpoint, but if you have very good value system, if you have very good ethical and moral upbringing, that will rub off into your behavior. And everybody around you will have a personal feeling that this gentleman or this gentle lady is the right kind of people with whom we associate. So we must follow this principle of being a good, responsible citizen. And by having that perspective, we will be leading in society. So without further ado, let me jump into my presentation. Normally, I start off with some quotations. So today's quotation is by Julie Garwood. She's saying, respect was earned, not demanded, but dignity was taught by example. Very powerful statement. What she's saying that if you try to teach dignity, it will not work in your life. People will not feel convinced. So it's all about convincing people around you about who you are and what you represent. So if you have a very powerful example of good work, good activities, the right path that you have taken in spite of the difficulties that you may be involved in, you had moved in the right direction with the right set of perspective, in spite of the fact that maybe those perspectives were difficult, but you made it a point that you must follow what is in the right path, in the righteous form. So by doing that, people will immediately understand that you mean business and you have a very powerful ethical brain or ethical sense or ethical bone within your own structure. Your DNA is sequenced with what is right and you are following what is in the right path. So if you can show examples, that would be the most powerful tool for people to convince around you. You can talk about ethics, you can talk about respect and dignity all night long, but if you don't show your position as a dignified, as a respectful, as an ethical person in society, then people will not truly follow you. Once they see that you are setting examples of what is right, what is fair, what is judicious, what is creating internal harmony, then people will come around you and start working alongside you, and they will start having this feeling that this person means business, this person's viewpoints should be given due respect to, because he or she is based on a moral principle of equity and fairness. So moving forward, the next one is by Ruklin. I don't know if it's a she or a he, but assuming it's a he. To be able to live each day with honor, respect, and dignity is the greatest achievement of all. Absolutely. If you have the respect that you garnered from society and you lead your life based on that respect culture, then you have achieved well in society. You have achieved tremendous amount of prestige in society. Imagine yourself in a community where you had grown up. If everybody feels that you are the right person, and everybody feels that if there is an issue that needs to be solved, or an issue that needs to be reviewed by a very objective mindset, a person with a very objective mindset, who to go. And if they start finding you in that capacity, then you will realize that you have achieved a certain level of success based on your strong moral and ethical upbringing. Your value system is being judged by everyone else, and you have passed your test of being a fair and ethical person. So if you are a leader in society, and if you want to lead in your capacity the people around you, you must be actually taking this value judgment test on a daily basis. So what is this value judgment test? It's the set of examples that you set in society through your behavior, through your activities, through your actions. So that's how you grow into a morally strong and upright citizen. So this is the highest achievement of all: your honor, your self-respect, and the dignity that you have, the status that you carry as a human being around people around you. So these are the three terms which magically can put you into a limelight of a good human being, or into someone having a very low caliber of character. So if somebody has a very high standing in terms of his or her character, in terms of being very fair, judicious, very integrity driven, very honest, then people will pull you up no matter where you are. They will start resonating around you. They will feel that here is this person with whom we need to work with. So all major activities that goes around you, you will be somewhere in the center stage or close to the center stage. And this is the true fact of life. When you are in the thick of thin, you learn more. And when you are learning more, you become more confident as a human being, as a leader. And obviously, with your newfound knowledge, newfound experience, newfound skills, you will be able to lead more quickly than if you had not been given that assignment. So why were you given that assignment as a person? It is because of your standing in society, because of your capability, because of your truthfulness, because of your ability to build trust and keeping that trust with people. So these are important elements that can actually basically propel you to a very different stage in life, where you truly become a leader around the people that you are working with. Moving forward. This is by Abraham Joshua Heschel. He says, self-respect is the fruit of discipline. The sense of dignity grows with the ability to say no to oneself. So, what is discipline? Discipline is the ability to control ourselves in amidst many different activities that goes around yourself. So you have to be able to be having a controlling mind as to what to do and what not to do. So a good person with a disciplined mind will be able to say no to many of the issues that are unfolding around himself or herself. Saying no to dishonesty is very difficult when everybody else around you are somehow dabbling with dishonesty or having a unethical lifestyle within an off work environment. Being able to control yourself and saying no, that environment is very, very hard, but that is the fruit for being respectable, dignified, uh, a person who will be leading in society. Everybody knows who is a good person because of his or her actions. As I mentioned in the previous slide, if you are being disciplined and if you show your discipline through your activities at your work, then people will know that this is the right person to work with. So, in terms of self respect, your ethical senses, your moral fiber, your words, your body language, the way you carry yourself, your posture, your gesture, everything wraps into a structure. And if you are molded around this structure, which is responsible, which is ethical, which is fair, judicious, and having a good level of self-respect, then you are a dignified human being, you're a dignified citizen, and people around you will definitely want to work with you because everybody in this world wants to work with a leader. So if you are leading in the area of character and your perspective and skill set, then you automatically will move towards higher forms of leadership. So we have to be very focused on finding our own discipline in our personal lives, in the lives of our team, in the lives of our group. So if a disciplined group continues to deliver a work activity, obviously, if you aggregate all the work activities, then cumulative effort will be much higher than a community where people are not very disciplined and they don't know what to do or where to go about. They're working, but they're not very organized. So if you are disciplined, obviously that will create an environment of trust. It will create an environment of internal harmony, and it will automatically move into the sphere of self-respect. And when an environment has this strong sense of self-respect embedded in the system of work activity, then you start to become more efficient, more productive. I was talking to my staff in a district which is called Narayanganj outside Dhaka yesterday, and we were focusing on three things. We were focusing on passion, we were focusing on discipline leading to self-respect, and we were focusing on being content and having a sense of purpose in life. So if as a professional, if we actually put these perspectives into our own behavior, into our own personal ecosystem, automatically as a human being, you will be more functional, you will be more effective, you will have more energy and vibe to move about. So we have to be focused on this idea of being disciplined and as to saying no to opportunities, because not all the opportunities are right for us. So that perspective we have to hold in our head on a daily basis in order for us to lead. Moving forward, this is an unknown quotation. It is not what we have in life, but who we have in life that matters. So it's not the things that matters technically, but it is the human bondage. It is the connectivity with human beings that we have in our life that matters. In other words, people around you matters much more than what you have in terms of your asset. You might have a car, you might have a house, but you don't have good company, you don't have warmth and passion, you don't enjoy life around the people you work with. You will not be succeeding in life. You might be doing your work, but in order to succeed, you have to have that passion. And passion doesn't come automatically. Passion comes with the environment. If the environment is conducive, if the environment is ethical, you have a sense of purpose, of belonging in that environment and doing the right thing every time, then you will feel more energized, more incentivized, and your output will automatically improve. And at the same time, being more responsibly driven towards an ethical standard of living, it will rub into other people. Everybody will be noticing each other's overall system of work activities, and their personal characteristics will be seen in their daily activities. And if they are good, then life would be much more better. And therefore, the things that you have will have less meaning. The the people and the relations that you have will have more meaning in your life. Imagine yourself. I'm sure many of you have gone through life at different times where you have realized that the people around whom you are currently associating with, you're not feeling the vibe, you're not feeling confident, you're not feeling the sense of being in a responsible or nice or ethical situation. You might feel that some of these people are not ethical, or they're trying to dodge you, or you have to cover up your faults very carefully because the other person is really not there to support you. They want to open up your negative spots. So you have personally felt these feelings in your life. So now think how impactful those periods were in your life. I'm sure they were not very helpful. They were more stressful rather. And you worried on a regular basis around those people. And imagine those phases have passed. And you're feeling more calm, you're feeling more collected, you're feeling more at peace with your soul. Obviously, comparing the two time zone, you are much more content, you're much more happier now. So that's the whole perspective in life: being happy, being content, and being passionate. If you are happy and content, all the other things in life will automatically come. Your brain cells will work more effectively, you will be more spirited, you will have a smile on your face. People around you will also feel more excited because they will feel that you are becoming a better human being, you are becoming a better conversationalist, you are communicating better, etc. So all the elements of becoming a proper leader will be coming forth into your own character, into your own personal self, and the way you move about in society. So you'll be more respected, you will be more dignified, you will be more calm and collected. So this will not happen overnight. You also have to build towards this leadership perspective, this perspective of character. If you are constantly keeping yourself aware and moving in the right direction, then slowly this big banyan tree of characteristic traits will grow. It will take time, but if you nourish the tree, if you nourish your characteristics on a regular basis, and if you nourish your behavioral pattern on a regular basis, slowly but surely you will move into a higher plateau of success in terms of your character success, your success as a human being, and that will translate into a better leader automatically. People want to connect with people who have very responsible characteristics, behavior characteristics. So this is an unknown quotation, but it's a very powerful perspective that we must hold, cherish, and apply in our lives. Moving forward, this is a quote. It says, picturecoach.com, how a person treats their family says a lot about their character. This is also very important statement. If you are rough with your family members, if you're rough around your own relatives, then obviously that's your true self that is being reflected, and people will not feel the confidence around you because people will consider you to be a non-judicious person, a non-ethical person, because you're being unfair to your family, you're being unfair to your close relatives. So that will never help you to move to the next level of leadership. So if you want to build a proper leadership perspective within your character, you must be very careful as to how you behave with your near and dear ones. You may think that your near and dear ones you have nothing to lose because this is a family relationship that has happened. And even if you are, let's say, angry with your father or your mother or with your spouse, they are not going to leave. You have this assumption, a very strong belief system, and then you take advantage of that belief system, and then you are in a rebuke trail. You are constantly having arguments with your family members, and you are throwing tantrums, and you are being disrespectful with them. That is not going to be looking good on your own personal human traits outside, because somebody who has this negative characteristic traits cannot be having wonderful positive traits outside his or her personal life. In the professional sphere, this negative traits will also show forth. So a good human being, a valued human being, a person with good dignified self-respect should find space to improve their own inner connectivity and inner harmony with their family members. If you are good with your family members, it will be more effective in future for you to actually behave around other people, because for example, anger is a genetically coded it's like it's a negative characteristics that is almost genetically coded, but it's also learned. So if you are always into the angry mode, and if you realize that if you go home and your temperaments change, then something is probably amiss in your life. So you try to find those gaps, address those gaps by constantly talking to yourself, talking to your inner soul, saying that, is this what I really want to be seen as? Is this what I truly want to be as a human being? Probably not. Everybody in society wants to improve. There are no person in this world who would come and say that, look, next year I don't want to improve. I want to go down in my standing. Nobody's going to come and tell you, probably other than an insane person. So it is a human ingrained perspective that we want to be seen as a better person. We want to grow as a better person. So how to go about being a better person? Obviously, by being a good ethical person, around a good person with good characteristics and good behavior scheme around the people in your family, and that will become your second nature. And once you be nice and soft and sweet and empathetic towards your own personal family, things will develop into a much better potential around you. So you have to be constantly thinking about who you are internally within your own personal family and your own personal domain, and can you become a better human being? It is not going to happen overnight. It is not magical. You should not let go of this perspective that I'm trying today. If it doesn't work, forget it. No, it's an incremental procedure. You have to be constantly working at it, and slowly but surely the evolution into a better human being will automatically come. As we say, knowledge purifies a human soul. So knowledge and activity on the ground and behavior that you show forth on the ground will purify you as a professional, as a leader, as a person of dignity in society. So moving forth, normally I have a quotation. Today's quotation is, today's definition of leadership is about creating human value through dignity and respect for all. We are focusing on the two issues, dignity and respect for all. If these two tools are properly embedded into your own characteristics, into your own personal value judgment system, then I think you have passed the mark of becoming a leader of reasonable standing. As you become more refined, as you become more skillful, more communicative, more passionate, and people are truly connecting with you, then you move to higher echelons of becoming a better leader. But if you have these two issues around you, which is dignity and respect for all, you will automatically, you're in the journey for a better person. Imagine yourself, you go to grocery store, right, on a regular basis. So who do you mostly connect with? You go to some people who offers you respect, who welcomes you, who looks at you with a smile, and who greets you with a smile. You try to tend to work with that person, a person who doesn't get impatient around you when you ask questions around the price tags on different items. So that person becomes a person you want to associate with, that person who is having a proper listening skills with regards to queries that you may have. And what is that all about? That's about giving human value to the other person. If you're across someone and if you're not paying attention to that person, obviously you're not giving the due value to that person. So you're not being dignified to that person, and you're not being dignified yourself, and you are not promoting the respect culture. So it's about positioning as a human being into a leadership standing through having inculcated and or having communicated the right value system, so that you have a strong, dignified characteristics and a very respectful culture that you promote, you practice, and you share with people through your own actions and through your constant guidance and direction within your environment. So that's how you transform into a better leader. So moving forward, we can talk about culture of respect and harmony in detail. However, I have just pinpointed a few points, and we had actually discussed these issues in detail previously in the sessions where we talked about leadership and culture. But here I have just pinpointed from a slightly different angle. We are in this journey for becoming a proper leader, right? These sessions that we are having is for us to have this perspective of how we can develop ourselves into the journey of a proper leader. So number one point is the respect culture that we need to blend, or we need to put into our environment. So the work environment where you're working, if you're being proper and if you're being respectful, slowly but surely others will start to be respectful towards you. There are many people in this world, specifically in the managerial ranks in the garment sector in Bangladesh. They keep telling me that if they are not rebuking their employees, nobody works. But have you tried it with very sincere effort for a significant period of time to be polite, to be respectful towards others? Have you tried it? Probably not. Maybe you had tried it once or twice and then it backfired on you and you realize that things are not working. Then you go back to your original self of being very rebuking. You're constantly cussing at people and putting people down and expecting them to do their work. Yes, they are in an environment under constant vigilance, under constant verbal abuse, and they are performing. But imagine a situation where you are doing things on your own and moving things forward. For example, in a family, example is absolutely there. You don't have to tell your parents to go out and earn a living. They go out with their own perspective, in with their own passion, and they earn a living and they come home and create a reasonable home environment so that children can grow up with some level of comfort and support and etc. You don't push them to do that. It comes out of love and care and respect. And this respect, imagine this home culture, if you can transform it into a professional environment, that obviously things will work out. So I would suggest, as a professional, if you take on these issues very sincerely and if you work out a certain perspective that from today I would start behaving much better and I will start to actually practice this self-respect in a dignified fashion in my work environment, then automatically sooner or later others will resonate back. They will start to see the merit and they will also start to be softer, nicer, more professional around you. This is a very difficult task. I know you might say that I tried it for 2 weeks, it didn't work, and my performance or my work activity in the office was coming down, their work activity. So I had no choice but to go back to my old self. No, if you try it persistently with passion and true energy, things will slowly but surely improve. The next point is harmony, employee harmony. You have to be an environment where people are feeling the comfort of working with you, alongside you. So a harmonious culture, organizational culture, we talked in detail, is absolutely essential for you to be having a respectful journey as a leader. The next one is being compassionate and ensuring an empathetic behavior as well. So this is connected with harmony. If you are compassionate towards your worker, there might be some problem with the worker, and if you are rebuking that worker, then the problem probably will not be solved. It will be swept under the rug. But that person, you can't see somebody's mindset, you can't see what he or she's thinking, but that perspective will be nagging that person for the rest of the day or even beyond. So obviously, when you have two thoughts, two streams of consciousness while working, and one is very negative, you're not at all mentally happy, obviously it will show in your work and your efficiency will come down. You will be more uh, you will be more there will be more possibility of being making mistakes in this work that you're doing. So you have to be empathetic as well. You have to be in their shoes in order to understand what is actually going through their mindset. And if you can accommodate those issues in a professional and valued perspective, then you have already added a human touch to leadership, and people will start thinking that here is this person who is a good listener, who has this internal harmony within himself, and he or she is also showing forth and bringing others in the domain of harmony as well. So that's a very powerful environmental aspect that a true leader can mold around himself or herself in order for others to connect with this harmonious living and deliver better outcome. The last one is human aspirations to through motivation. Obviously, as I mentioned, everybody wants to grow as a human being. Everybody wants to do better. So how to move your organization, how to move your leadership standing through motivation, through a lot of discussion of the wellness culture, or what needs to be done as a human being, and your professional direction, and the activities that you need to set forth within your work environment. So I would like to point out one small issue. There are people in this world who are leading, and they expect everybody to be equally well, equally competent as himself or herself. Don't hold this type of perspective. You will not be able to motivate your team members. You will not be able to motivate your juniors and your colleagues, because you're holding a bar of standard in your hand that may not be fit for everyone. So no one size fits all strategy will work. You have to be looking at the individual with their individual traits, and either raise the bar or lower the bar based on his or work activity. If you are dealing with someone who's really bright, you might have to motivate that person to outperform everyone else, because he or she has that particular capacity. So this harmonious uh, understanding of the business ecosystem or social ecosystem, you have to understand very well and appropriately manage those tools and manage those buttons, so that the outcomes are much more effective and more professional, and in terms of its standing. So the culture of respect and harmony are vital for leadership growth, and we need to build these perspective on almost a daily basis. And you can't be telling people that I have been very respectful for this month of September, but I don't know what's going to happen, or I was very harsh the last month. I think these are improper statements. These are statements where you are internally trying to convince yourself that you don't need to change and you don't need to evolve as a human being. Rather, as a human being, we need to start questioning our own inner selves, in terms of talk to your inner souls and try to find out where are the gaps that can be rectified, where are the gaps which you can stitch and weave a better fabric of proper human engagement in society. So moving forward, promoting internal harmony. This is a cultural issue. This is an issue of regular practice on a daily basis in your own work environment. So what is important is to ensure harmony and within the environment. So if you look at harmony's definition, harmony is the sound of things that go together well. So when you are in an orchestra, if the music is going and flowing nicely, then you really get a wonderful pulse of having listened to wonderful music. You start to you start to move with the music. Why? Because the music is captivating you and your soul. Similarly, if you are in a work environment and people around you are being respectful and really trying to help you out, and regularly having discussions, not to put anybody down, but to make sure things are worked out in a proper and meaningful way, then obviously you are in a harmonious environment. You're in the middle of a grand orchestra that is going well. So we have to start building these issues around us, specifically when you're a leader. If you're a grumpy leader, if you are always distasteful, if you're always angry with your team members, if you're always putting your team members down, then you don't create that harmony that is needed to grow as a wonderful organization. The greatest organizations that shoot up in the world are the environment where people are more inspired, more passionate, more directed, more driven, and all of these comes through preparing the human mind to be in a more harmonious state. So what is important is your internal communication and dialogues within the work environment, whether it's a community, business, or a country or a societal perspective. You have to also ensure the principle of fairness. Is it fair? Is it ethical? Is it the right thing to do, etc.? That fairness principle can go miles in taking the organization forward. So having a fair and judicious mindset is essential to lead as a citizen and as a business ecosystem. You have to also be adaptive. Certain things may not go right according to your plan. Even if you're a leader, you have to be able to adapt to circumstances. I'm not suggesting that you will be adaptive every single time. There will be points where you will have to say that whatever has happened is not right. We need to rectify. So let's redo what we had done. Sometimes you have to do that, but often you have to also adapt to the new culture. Maybe you are a new leader in an environment. Obviously, you have to also look at what are the undercurrents within the overall system that's out there in the work environment. You have to adapt to certain systems because you have to look at it from a judicious and fairness principle, and you have to try to study it in the sense that, is it the right system? If it's the right system, don't tinker with it. Don't try to change and try to show that you are the leader now and you are changing or uprooting all the old system and you're bringing in all new system. Not necessary. You might have to look at certain things more dispassionately and arrive at a perspective that this works. This is a good system. I had not introduced this system, but this system is good. Let's carry on with this system. That's how you build confidence and you build the warmth within the environment, and people start to respect you. So this is a perspective that we have to be always focusing on, the adaptiveness culture. The next one is a good listener with having a solutions focused mindset. If you don't listen to what's going on around your work environment and the activities that are happening around you, then obviously you will miss out on a lot of clues, a lot of perspectives, and you will make non-judicious decisions. So number one point for becoming a leader is to be open-minded and having a solution from all the negative vibes that you're getting within the environment. This is also very true. People will come and try to test you. If you're a new leader in a department or an organization or in a political space, people will try to unsettle you. They will throw, curveballs at you to see how you respond, whether you break down, whether you are made of that iron strength, iron resolve to tackle those situations, whether you are capable to handle the people dynamic, etc. People will throw all kinds of issues at you to see whether you break down or whether you rise and do better than the previous leader. And if you do better than the previous leader, automatically things will be more conducive for you. People will start to have this confidence factor bestowed on you, and then you will start to realize that there are people who are slowly listening to what you are suggesting and your perspectives are being respected too. So that's how you create the internal harmony. And if you are constantly promoting this internal harmony through communication, through fairness principle, through being adaptive, and through being having a good listener perspective with a proper solutions-driven mindset, then the organization that you are leading will go from being an average organization to a superior organization. So moving forward, I'm at the end of my session. I end with a $1 million question. Today's $1 million question is, what if a leader fails to show respect and internal harmony? what steps can the board take? When we talk about the board, we're talking about the ownership community. So if you're a good manager previously, but for some crazy reason, you are faulting, you are becoming disrespectful, you are missing out on building inner harmony, the organization is suffering. What do you do? The first thing you need to do is have a face-to-face discussion with this person. You should not assume that things will get better, and we don't want to get involved in the daily activities of this person. Yes, you don't want to get involved in the daily affairs of this person, but you can always create a policy level direction within the organization and invite all the senior members within the organization in the management ranks and talk to them over how we can create a harmonious culture and how we can develop a respect-driven culture, etc., without pointing fingers at this boss. But you may have to bring the boss in and have a free and frank discussion and try to find out what's going on with the boss's own personal space. If the boss is having family problems, then maybe you may not be able to solve, or may be able to solve. Extend your hand in cooperation. Then this person will also feel that I'm not alone in this world, fighting out all the ghosts and all the negative issues in life. There are people who are out there extending their arms in help. So the person will definitely feel a little bit more confident, feel a little bit more at ease. And if you are then talking about the culture of being fair and culture of being polite and respectful and dignified, and reflect back to what you had been having over the last 1 year or 6 months, and now things are going a little south. If you can discuss those issues and sort of get a game plan from this person, then you have an option to continue with this person. But if a leader truly becomes a person who's inconsiderate, disrespectful, discourteous, and showing tantrums and having a negative behavior perspective within that person, then it is time to change your top boss. If you are the owners community and if you have the CEO, then the CEO needs to either be constantly counseled, guided, mentored, or it's time to move the CEO from his position and find a new CEO, or give an internal promotion from within. So with that, I would like to end today's session. We had talked about the issue of respect, dignity, and the ecosystem that allows an organization to grow from being an average organization to being a glorified and truly a organization of high standing and high values. It's all about positioning of values within the organization and making sure people respond to these values statements and apply in their own lives, and it will show forth, and then the organization will definitely move from being an average to being a superior organization. With that, I would like to end my session, and back to you, Edward Probir-Mondo. Thank you very much. This is Advocate Ziorman from Dhaka. I'm an adjunct faculty of IUB and CEO of IITM. Thank you very much.